Hello there. I hope you're having a wonderful, blessed day and that everything's fine. And if it's not, you pray and you just keep on telling yourself, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get out of this. It may be a long stretch. Maybe you got a lot of debt and it's going to take a while, but at least you're on it. If you made out your budget or wrote down your little worksheet or made up your own, that's okay. Don't worry about everybody else and what they're doing. This is about your journey, and you continue to go forward until you are out of there. And don't worry. Some of you are worried about what happens when I pay off all my debt. You know, everybody's worried about that because we've never been out of debt before. And you get that way. It's like, now what do? You start learning new things, doing new things, except getting back in the debt. But it's going to take a while. It'll be new. Can you imagine not having anything to pay for except maybe something that you really finally wanted and can't afford? And you know how to budget for it now. You can start soon. You can start now. You can get you a little envelope. You can get a little jar. Anything for your dream. You should always have something for your dream, no matter how big or small it may be. And you can wait till the end of your budgeting journey to do it. You know, that's the big surprise for you to do at the end. Maybe that's it. Or maybe you want to do little things as you go along, because we do need something as we go along or we'll break down. You'd get tired of saving money. I understand. You get tired. I've been there. I'm there about every month. I'm tired of saving money. How come I can't go get a cup of coffee? How come I can't whatever, okay? But those are little rewards that you do. Maybe at the end of the week. Oh, we got enough. Me and you can go out and get a cup of coffee. Me and you have enough to go to the movie. We can take the kids here because I budgeted enough and I'm okay. I'm free and clear for next month and we can go somewhere. You have to plan for those things. And that's just part of budgeting. I am glad to pay bills because I know every bill I pay is one step closer to my goal. I look at my bills as abundance. Okay? Every bill that I pay off, that's more money in my pocket that I don't have to pay every month. Now, yeah, there's utilities and all this other stuff, but what if you had the money and you paid your utilities for months in advance? You don't have to pay them every month. Or maybe you paid that car payment out for a while and you can kind of relax a minute. Or you paid the car off and you got that extra money, you can go save it. Try to get something you really wanted and within reason and budget for it. You just don't go out there and go crazy, because some of us will. We will go out there and lose our mind and talk about we got back in the debt. And you really don't know how you got back in the debt. And most of it's because we don't look at ourselves and figure out what type of person we really are. Are we a spender or a saver? And there's no in between. You can't have one and have both. You either spend a lot of money all the time or you save the money. And the two do not meet. Because if they met, then you got a real problem. You got the spender saver right there looking at you. Oh, I spent that. Oh, I saved that. Let me go spend that over in the savings part. You got to be one or the other. And it's the same way with abundance. What is your mindset? Is it scarcity? Are you always thinking about, we don't have enough? Oh, can't do that today. Are your kids in turmoil because you keep telling them what they can't have? Can you imagine that child when they grow up? There's a lot of children, they leave early. It's like the minute they turn 18, they're gone. You wonder why they didn't come back. That's probably most of it. You probably sat there and just kept going on and on about what you didn't have. And they went out to another life and went, I'm going to have what I got to have. And either they're going to be a saver or a spender. They may wind up in debt because they were following you. Or they may go the opposite way and go, I'm not going to be like that. I can't do it. I lived broke all my life with my mom and dad. I'm not doing it. Or my mom or my dad. I saw them. I'm not doing that. And then others go right down the rabbit hole and go, well, we'll get this. I'll get that credit card. I'll be all right. And they're not all right. So you have to decide now. Are you Are you looking for abundance? Or are you looking still for nothing? No matter how broke or poor you are now. Okay? Abundance is going to, every dime that you see, every bill that you pay, you have to look at it as, I got abundance because I paid you. I paid you off, so I got extra money coming in. I'm saving that money. Or are you the one, there it goes. Nope, we don't have any money. We don't have enough money. Are you looking for a way to get more money? Are you taking an extra side hustle? Sometimes you got to do stuff to get to the abundant side. Those people are the ones getting to the abundant side. They went and got a side hustle. They went and thought of things to do instead of saying, I can't do anything. Everybody can do something. Okay, everybody can find a niche somewhere. And maybe something small, but you found your niche. And you can do it. Maybe it's not selling goods, but maybe you can pack goods somewhere. Maybe you don't have transportation. Okay, maybe I need to do something online because I can't get out. I don't have a car right now. You're working toward that abundance of having transportation. So everybody, there's a niche somewhere, everywhere, if we look for it. And COVID showed a lot that there were a lot of niches popping up. They're still at home working because they're like, I don't want to go out there. I can do this right here. And a lot of businesses figured out you don't need those people coming in as long as they are working. Now, if they're not working, maybe you do need to oversee those people. And we had a few bad apples that went, yeah, I'm working 1 hour and then I'm off 6 hours. They don't know anything about it. And they told on themselves on national news. But you have to think of, are you abundance always? No matter how big the bill is, no matter how big the thought is, you're positive always. Are you always, people that don't have enough money, you will hear them whine every minute. It's whining, okay? I don't have. We know you don't have. We got it. So what are you going to do about it? What do you want us to do about it? We're pepping you up. We're trying our best. So what are you going to do about it? Are you going to get another job? Are you going to ask for a raise? Are you going to keep your job and see if you can do something else extra? What are you going to do? You got to think, what are you going to do to stay out of that whiny, no money problem? Okay, a lot of people have had no money. I've had no money. I didn't whine about it, and practically nobody knew about it. We were so tight-lipped, nobody knew. This is on YouTube is the first time I've ever said anything about it. Knew nothing to this day. I didn't go to my family whining and crying. We kept tight-lipped. We didn't talk. Because we had the abundance in our mind, we got to get out of this. We're going to get out of this. It's like you're talking about buying a house. Okay? I'm going to get a house. I'm going to get a house. See, you believe you're going to get a house. You got the belief. So you have to have the belief in the mindset that you're going to get more money all the time. You have to believe that when you walk out to your mailbox or your post office box and you say something's going to be there for me that's good, that's positive. I want more checks coming in. I don't want any more bills coming in. See, you should have a hold of your bills so you already know what they are. So anything coming to you ought to be good. I want this to come to me. I don't want all this stuff. Even if a debt collector comes to you, you just go, that's fine. You know, negotiate. They get a little upset when you say, well, let's negotiate. I got no problem. Yes, I owe it. So what are we doing? What are we doing? Why are you putting all those fees on there? How much is the bill? How much are you going to slash that bill for me? How about half off? Because it wasn't your bill in the first place. You know, negotiate. And that's the abundance talking. You got confidence. And you don't let them get the upper hand. You don't let anybody get the upper hand because abundant people have confidence. You know, and even if you have the money, you got confidence. If you want to say, I'm just going to make some payments and then all of a sudden turn around and pay them off, okay. Or I want half off because you didn't own the bill in the first place. Okay, what's your terms? You know, some of them give you like 10% off. You know, if it's $800, they want to, you know, $80 off. That's not enough. Like, let's keep rolling. Because you didn't own that bill. You bought that bill probably for 5 cents, pennies on the dollar. Let's negotiate. And call me back when you got a better term. You know, you're up on it. Abundant people are up on it. You read about debt collectors. You know what they do. You read about getting a job. And you should be doing your research. Abundant people do research. Okay, when I get my cars, you know you can build a car. And it's good to build a car. What if you wanted a Cadillac? You can go to the Cadillac site and actually build the car online. It's kind of fun. And you build the car, what type of seats you want. Do you want this type of stereo? Blah, blah, blah. And it'll give you a price. That's research. Now, you may not can afford that car, but you got the research in your mind. How much is that car going to cost me in the long run? How much is it going to be? And what can I take off? You can play with that car online. And if you do have the money for it, they go find it anywhere in the world. You know, most of the sites do, like Mercedes or, what is it, Lamborghini, you know, Land Rover. You know, they give you, some of the sites give you the dealer name, and you can call them. You know, it may be way out in another state. It's not overseas. In another state, and they tell you where they are. And some companies will even ship it to you. Or ship it to the dealer that you want it to have so you can make your terms, pay it off, or make payments, reasonable payments. But even if you don't, that's research. You can do your dream car on there, and then you can see how much it is before you walk over to the dealer and go, well, how much is it? You know, rich people are very confident when they buy things. They don't ask how much it is, because they're already set. And people with the poor mindset, they go, well, how much is it? It's the first thing comes out your mouth. When I go to a dealer, I go in and I tell them what I want. I don't care what cars are out there. Okay, maybe I got my eye on a car. And the first thing dealers want to do, what's your social security number? What's your date of birth? And I keep going, not giving it to you because I may not get the car. Do the test drive. That's abundance talking. Like, you're not scamming me here. Okay? Then I can go somewhere else. I do not need my credit dinged 5 times because I'm going to different dealers. So you have to have that mindset. Is very strong. It's very hard to get. You have to practice. You're going to stumble. I'm telling you, you're going to stumble and stumble again. I've stumbled all the time. I'm stumbling way less. I hardly stumble now because I just stand and I think before I open my mouth. And that's what you got to do. Or I tell the people, wait a minute, I'll see you tomorrow. And then I come home and I brainstorm and put the pros and cons about what about this deal? Let me think about it. And then, you know, they give you this thing with the cars, especially, it may be gone tomorrow. Well, then God didn't want to give it to me. He's telling me, walk away, go away now. That house may be gone. That's fine. And walk away. I've been to the house that I want to build. Now, by the time I build it, it may have changed. It may be a different house there. But I told them, they said, well, you can get in it now. I know, but it's not my time. I said, abundant people, it's not your time. You know when the time is right. You got your finances all together. Yes, I can sign on the dotted line and get a loan. I don't want another loan. I have to think, what is going on in my life, in my mind, that I can stay in abundance, that I can keep the money flowing in. And when you're in abundance, you're always in that mindset. There's a parking place I told you that I get when I go some certain places. I know where I want to park. And the kids and whoever's in the car, I said, well, I'm going to go to that parking place up in the front. And I remember my girlfriend and some other people were back. They never have a parking place in the front every time we come here. I said, they have it when I come. I'm going up there. And just as I got there, somebody was pulling out of my parking space because I said, that's my parking space. And they were just amazed. I said, that's what I always did. I said, that was the first thing I did with abundance. I went, okay, let's see if I can get a parking space right here. I want that parking space. And see, the parking spaces are very limited. There's only 4. I have a handicap plaque. So there's only 4 parking spaces where we were going and all these cars. And they were like, you're not going to get a parking space up there. We're going to wind up walking, you know. And I said, I'm going to find it. It's right there. I always go to it. And there I was. And wherever I go, even if I don't know it, there's got to be a parking space up front where everybody didn't get into it. Because my mind is set that way. It's going to be there. My mind is set that way. There's money coming in. Even at my lowest point last year, I said, you got to do something. My mind was set. And the kids said, you got to get it back. They said, you always had it. Get the money back. Pull it back in, Mom. You know how to do it. Because they had seen it. And I was doing the wine thing. I was running to the broke side. Where broke? They said, we did this before. You brought it back. Bring your mindset back. And we'll bring ours with you. So you have to think, what are you? Are you going to be the broke person that sits there and whines? We don't have enough money. We can't go out to dinner. How come you don't go to work? Think about what you're doing first before you accuse somebody, a spouse or anything. Get yourself together. Now, you may have to accuse them to get them going, and they may not get going. My husband was a not get going, and I just kept going. And then he was wondering how I was getting all this money and finances coming in and things together at the time. And then, of course, they want to feed off of yours. And I'm like, back up. You didn't want to do anything. I'm trying to keep the kids together, the house together, and everything else. And you have to think that way sometimes. No matter how much you love a person, are you going to be there or with me? Or are you going to keep trying to take and then, you know, whatever. My husband liked to give his family money. Just blow it all out there. Oh, you need this. Oh, I'll help you pay for this. And then his check was gone. And then, of course, who's taking over? Me. I got to pay the house and da-da-da-da-da. And I'm like getting a little upset as I go because I'm not taking care of you. I don't think anybody should be taking care of anybody personally. I don't need you because I can take care of myself. But if you're going to cause havoc, it's not going to work. If you're going to take all our money and give it to your family, I'm not taking all my money and giving it to my family every time they whine or whatever. You know, I tell them, 2 people working in your house, 1 person may be working in your house. They have to be in dire need for me to walk out, you know, like I did with my grandparents. And they didn't want me to take that. My grandparents did not want me to take that on. And I said, I will take it on because you have did so much for me. And that's the only reason. Because you know how I get. And they started laughing. I said, especially with money. And I took it on. And I paid it off. And they tried to pay me back in not money ways, monetary. I see it going on. And I laugh at them. I said, what are you trying to do? You know, let's go out to dinner. Let's do this. I said, well, maybe. And we laugh. But it's fun because, and it's something you did for somebody else that was related to you. And some people you can't do anything for that's related to you or not. They're jealous of you or whatever. And when you get into the abundant mindset, let me tell you, a lot of people are going to be jealous of you. It may be your spouse. It may be a relative. Maybe your father or mother. You know, the family ties. It may be your best friend is not exactly your friend. Or some other people, they're going to be watching you. How'd you get that? You'll have enemies already looking at you. How'd you move in there? I got neighbors, you know, when I came in, I told you, they looked at me like, must be another renter. And they knocked on my door. They knocked on my door. And I said, yes, come on in. I called the town crier. You know, there's always one in the neighborhood that's, I call them the town crier, knocks at the door because they're going to take your business and throw it all out in the street. And she comes and she said, well, hello, how are you? And da-da-dee-da-dee, you know, all the niceties. I said, sit down. And she's looking at the furniture, looking at me, and I'm looking at her. And I sit down. And she's talking, and I knew what she was. It was like, I've been in neighborhoods. I know who you are. You're always the first one there. And I said, I bought the house. I'm not renting. I said, I heard it's been rented out. I bought the house. And she went, oh, and she jumps up. And she says, oh, I'm so glad to meet you. I tell you by an hour. Because I went out on the porch. It was people, they walked by on the sidewalks, you know, taking their dog, taking their kids out. And they're waving. Before they weren't waving. I would go outside and it was like they're walking straight ahead. Now it's like the news had gotten around in less than an hour. And I remember my daughter was here and she came out. She said, all these people waving, they weren't waving before. I said they figured out we were staying. You know, that was going to be all right. They're okay. They figured out who I was and what I did, you know, what type of work I was doing. And I said, it was all right. And some people, you just got to meet them where they are. And then they wanted to know, well, who built your house? Because my house is different than theirs. They had another builder who happens to be at my church. And he sold the land. He got tired of trying to build. They do that. When they get 2 extra lots or 3, they'll sell them to another company or whatever. And the guy that I bought my rental from next door, he had the house. He built this house and the one next door. And I said, the guy, he built it. The one that you've seen over next door. And I said, yes, it's different than everybody's, but it's pretty. It's a beautiful house. And I think that's what gets them. It's like, wow, you know, who did that? And I don't go into it. I don't tell them it was foreclosed on. And I got it. You know, I got a deal off of his rental property next door. I snatched that up. But see, that's abundance. I was looking for abundance. I want to make more money. No, there's a lot of times now that I paid off my bills that I'm going, what are you really going to do for a minute? Like I said, you get to that point, like, what are you going to do when everything's paid off? And you get to that point. But it's a good point. Because even my daughter asked me, what are you going to do? I said, you know what? I don't know, and I'm not dwelling on it. I said, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to let God just take us on that boat, and he can just steer away, and we'll be all right. Because we've been conditioned in our mind to pay bills all the time. And we haven't been conditioned like wealthy people that have had it all the time. They find things to do. I said, we haven't got a chance to do those things because we've been paying bills. Middle class, the rising stars, my low income, we've been paying bills. And even if you're poor or homeless, you got to get that mindset. Like I tell my homeless people, you got to get that mindset. You got to get out of it. That you can do this. You can get a job. You can do this. And a lot of them have come up. You know, I've helped them with the applications. We go in together and I tell them, this person can't read. This person can't write. Am I able to fill out the application and sit in here and fill it out and help them out without you thinking I'm cheating? And they always go, yeah. And then I said, you're going to go in there for an interview, you know, and everything, and you're going to just talk normally, tell them where you've been, what you've been doing. If you're homeless, you're homeless. That's all you can do. They'll take you or they won't. And I haven't had one person turn down. They take them. So get out that mindset, because you're one or the other. And if you're one of the ones talking about you're straddling the fence, well, I'm abundance today, but I'm broke tomorrow. No, that means you're broke. And I call broke means you're just either living from paycheck to paycheck, or you're whining about what you got, and you may have more than what you think you do. If you keep whining about your bills, you're going to get more bills. If you keep saying, I'm tired of looking at bills, you're going to get more bills. Look at the bills as something different. Sit there and look. Every time you pay a bill, like maybe the electric bill is $175. Think of it as, I got $175 check today. Not going out, coming in. That's the way I pay my bills. I got a $300 gas bill coming into my checking account. Don't think of it as going out. Think of it as going in. Play a little game with yourself. We play games with these savings challenges. How come you can't play games with your bills? I do it all the time. Bill comes in and I go, hey, that's in my checking account. It may not be, but the mind doesn't know unless you start thinking. It doesn't know a check going out or going in. The universe has no idea till you put it in the universe's atmosphere that this is a bad thing. Oh, you want more bad things because you keep talking about it. If you keep talking bad things will come. And yes, life comes. God's right there. Things come. People pass away. People hurt themselves. And I didn't say be jolly about all that. But be jolly about the inside of yourself. Keep yourself calm. Try to weather the storm, because that's life. We can't do anything with that. You know, that's God's program. And this is God's program. Okay, God made the universe. God made abundance. God made you. And he gave you the only thing of making a decision. You're the highest being that can make a decision, whether you're wrong or whether you're right, what side you're on and what side you're not. And sometimes you get on the wrong side and you need to run back to the other side. So you need to make a decision. Are you going to stay on the poor side, or are you going to have abundance? Because I'm always thinking that way. I'm thinking there's some more checks coming in. And no matter how small, okay? No matter how small, I don't look at it. You know, I hear some cash stuffers going, oh, look at this raggedy bill. It spins. Look at this raggedy bill came in here. And you talking about rags. It's tore up. It's like people sometimes. We get tore up. We get broke. We've bent. Somebody probably cashed stuff. Look at this thing going in here. It just went in there just with no effort. See it? Look at it. Somebody probably stuck it into one of these. I didn't fold it. It's just raggedy. But some of them look, oh, this bill. It's money. It's still money. Even if you tore it, you tape it back up, take it to the bank. It spins. It's not facing the right way. The only way I face it is when I'm handing somebody money. I face it upwards so that more money will come back to me. But I'm not really worried about I cash stuffed it backwards. It's okay. That's your belief. But I don't think of that. That's the least of my worries. I'm thinking about, this is money. This is abundance. So I'm going to think, if I keep thinking about it's backwards, it's upside down, you just brought some negativity to that money. It's backwards. It's upside down. Look at this. Oh, it's raggedy. What if that was a person you're talking about? You got to think what you're saying sometimes. And then look at your life. Is anything flowing in? No, because there's things you're saying. And you have to learn. So I'm going to take this raggedy thing that you call it. And I'm going to put it in Lucy Lozano. She made this for me, the box. And she's at Lucy Lozano 1 on YouTube. And the Lord is my strength and my song. He has become my salvation. That's number 10. And I'm going to take, somebody else did this already. Look. We're going to just put it in here. And it's just small enough to fit by itself. And I just made the abundance. I have an extra $10 in my life. Right there. Because right there, look. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. I don't want for anything. And then, like I said, you got to think abundance all the time. I got this from That Budget Life. And it's got the 2 trees on it. And I was sitting there trying to figure out. Me and my mom said, oh, that's beautiful. I love those colors. And she's over in the UK. And I saw it. And I saw it on Jillian's budgets. She had one. I think it was her. Yep. And I kept telling my mom, what should I put on there? What number? She said, think of a number. And she said, at first I had like $10. There's 12 of these. And she said, that's $120. And I said, okay, little mathematician. And so she's laughing. And she said, no, put a big number on there. And I said I had 120. And she said, reverse the numbers. Okay, 210. She said, add a 0. And I said, that little envelope. See, I told you, when your mind is off, you know, my mind, you have to learn. Abundance, sometimes you mess up. I was messing up. I was losing it. I was going to unbelieve. And that's what she told me. She said, you're messing up. You're not believing. Pull it together. Pull it together. And I said, okay, I'm going to put 2,100 on here and 175. Not that I couldn't get it in there. It was just, I'm thinking 175, 175. I got a lot of challenges, you know, savings challenges. And I was thinking, another one, you know, another big one to do. And so she said, just put it in there. She says, I got a feel. And I said, okay, it's coming, $2,100. I said, I'll probably be doing this till next year. And she said, that's fine. It'll be filled up. And then my grandmother had heard us, and she came in, oh, that's going to get filled up soon. You're going to do that? And she said, that's easy. I said, yep, I know I will. And I said, thank you for the confidence and thank you for everything. And she said, sometimes you fall, but you're going to get right back up and jump around. You're going to be fine. She says, we have those days, and you've been working all night. I said, I know. But you know what? I just pulled this out today. It had come, and I hadn't put it out at all. And I put it in my, remember the Cutes binder I have for myself, this one. Because, you know, it was all about me. I didn't want to save it for me. I just wanted to put, that's where I wanted it to be. I don't know why, it just needed to be in there. I guess it was about me, but not for me to spend on me. Let me put it that way. So, all of a sudden, yesterday, after I'd filled this out and was talking to them, 3 checks came in. Guess how much it was? And you have to think abundance. And I did. When I left, it was abundance the rest of the day. I was done. And like I said, you will fall. You will not do it. And the $2,100, the 3 checks totaled $2,100 from a data breach. Now, the data breach had caused a lot of negativity. We had a problem. And it happened to be, I won't say the company, but it was on a company, and it just, you know, they were trying to get into accounts, and so did get into one account, but it had, thank God, it had no money in it. It was during the time when we had no money in there, and nothing was in there. I think it was like $5 in one and $2. We had all our cash out, and you know, our accounts were down to 0. We'd spend it out, you know, in a matter of days. It was out. We hadn't ate. We hadn't did this. You know, it was like it's gone or it's in our hands. But yesterday, the data breach from another company that had, you know, I filed with, but it came yesterday from the company, and we have $2,100. So we will count this out. 1, 2, 3, 21. So we have $2,100 bills. Going in there. Now you may say it's amazing. I say abundance. I had to get my mindset together and do it. It did it. So there it is. So we'll have to change this to another number eventually. Maybe bigger than before. And you have to practice abundance sometimes. So it was 21 this time. I'll think of a number again, and we'll have it. So, getting ready to go, and there we are. We got our 10 in here today. And we got our abundance envelope, new one. So take care. You're going to be fine. Everything's okay. And I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.